Cards list generic 5 right now! What's going on, guys? It's Yugi Bros, and today we're going to do a top 5 cards list of generic things I'd love to add to speed right now. The first, to no one's surprise, because it's in the background of the thumbnail, is Shadow Spell. This card actually hasn't seen a reprint in a very long time. It's a continuous trap that says activate this card by targeting one face-up monster your opponent controls. It loses 700 attack, also it cannot attack or change its battle position. When it leaves the field, destroy this card. Now this card is eerily similar to Spellbinding Circle, except for the fact that it also makes the monster lose 700 attack. Also, the wording on the last part of its text is slightly different. Spellbinding Circle only is destroyed when that monster is destroyed, like Call of the Haunted, whereas Shadow Spell just says if the monster leaves the field, it's destroyed. The reason I think this card would be decent in the game is because Spellbinding Circle is not good, right? No one's really playing that. But Nightmare Wheel is too strong in the simple fact that it does that 500 every time. I feel like this is a happy medium where not only does it stop the opponent's monster from attacking, but it makes it lose 700 attacks so that now a lot of cards can run over things a lot easier with that 700 loss. Now I understand cards like Widespread Ruin arguably just take the place of this card in almost every situation. The upside to this, however, is that it doesn't always have to destroy the highest attack on the field like Widespread does, and because of that, until we get something like a Sakuretsu Armor in Speed Duels, I feel like Shadow Spell would be the happy medium that we've kind of always deserved. Also, this card just needs a reprint. It's due for a reprint, like, let's be fair here. Next one on the list I have is Mystic Tomato, or rather Mystic Tomato, Shining Angel, and Flying Kamakiri #1. And the reason I say this is because Speed Duels has the other three when it comes to attributes in Giant Rat, Mother Grizzly, and UFO Turtle. They all have the, if they're destroyed by battle and sent to the grave, you can special summon one of the appropriate attribute with 1500 or less attack from your deck in attack position. Why do we have the Earth, Water, and Fire, but not the Dark, Light, and Wind? Especially not the Wind. Like, I can understand Dark and Light are the two most powerful archetypes in Yu-Gi-Oh!, Dark obviously being the most prevalent. However, why don't we have Flying Kamakiri? Now, I understand we just got Howling Insect in the case of trying to recruit out our bugs, but like in terms of wind monsters in general, we don't have any love for it in Kamakiri, so I'm just kind of shocked that we don't have any of these recruiters. Obviously, stuff like Mystic Tomato would make the game a hell of a lot faster. There are so many cards I can think off the top of my head that I would love to summon off Tomato. For dark options, we have a crazy amount of cards. Visor Shock is the first thing that comes to mind, which is just really, really strong, returning all set cards on the field to the hand. Dark Summoning Beast gives Sacred Beasts a new tool to work with. Destiny Hero Malicious, which I'm shocked still hasn't seen much play in Speed Duels thus far. Diamond Dude on the note of Destiny Heroes. You also have ways to like hit into like Gravekeeper's Recruiter faster, Jinzo Returner. Oh, Legendary Fiend. That's one that like you would never normally play, but drop that and then when it goes into your turn on the standby, he gains 700, so now he's a beat stick like he always should be. For light targets, you have something in Golden Harmunculus, which seems kind of crazy, and DD Warrior Lady on that banished note. And then you have like the machine union pieces for XYZ. Wind monsters, we have the Harpy Ladies 1, 2, and 3, but one of the big ones I could think of that would be really beneficial with Kamakiri is Armed Dragon level 3, whereas Kamakiri dies, you bring out level 3, and then going into your standby phase on your next turn, Armed level 3 becomes Armed level 5. I think that'd be really, really strong, and a cool way to make Armed Dragons somewhat interesting in Speed Duels since they've kind of just not done a single thing so far. But these are just some of the many options that like are presented to us through just these three recruiters that we just don't have access to because they haven't given them to us yet. So I would definitely love to see cards like that for sure. The next on the list I have is Ready Fusion, and before everyone freaks out, no, this isn't Instant Fusion, this is Ready Fusion, the one that says pay 1,000 life points, special summon one level 6 or lower non-effect fusion monster from your extra deck, but it can't attack, also destroy it during the end phase. It's treated as a fusion summon, you can only use one Ready Fusion per turn. I don't see why this would be absolutely crazy to add to the game. If anything, we'd be using it for tribute summons rather than anything else currently right now. But it's like playing the skill Heart of a Warrior, except every deck has the ability to do it, and there's very little downside to using this card over that skill. I don't know, I think we could come up with some cool combos with Ready Fusion. The only 6 targets we currently have for this card are Carbonala Warrior, Flame Swordsman, Guilt of the D Knight, Rapid Horseman, Great Mammoth of Goldfine, and Steam Gyroid. So y'all could figure out what you want to do with this card. I don't think it'd break any format whatsoever. As it is, it's just a really cool card that can create a lot of cool ideas, but like I don't see why it would be like overly powerful to bring this into the game. So the fourth card I have on this list is actually a spirit monster, and we don't have any spirits in Speed Duels currently, and that is Azora Priest, which also hasn't had a reprint since I think Battle Pack 1. This is a fairy spirit, 1712, level 4 light monster. It says it can't be special summoned, as most spirit monsters do. During the end phase of the turn, this card is normal summoned or flip face up. Return it to the hand, as most spirits say. And then its continuous effect is this card can attack all monsters your opponent controls once each. Now I think this would be a beautifully directed response at the My Precious Queen deck. By dropping this to the field, you can attack all their pesky tokens once each, get them off the field, and then Azora Priest's downside is that it bounces to your hand at the end phase, but like, so what? This card was around in old Yu-Gi-Oh! Forever, and very powerful a lot of the time in something like GOAT format. I think it definitely deserves its space in Speed Duels, but hey, let me know down below if I'm right or wrong on this one. The last card I have is a personal favorite. This is one of my most favorite obscure cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! If any of you pay attention to my Twitter, I recently did a thread on this card. The artwork says it all in terms of flavor, and that is Boxer. This is a level 4 Earth Warrior effect 18-1000. First off, it's a warrior. You can search it with Rhoda. That's cool. Second off, when this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can place one counter on this card. You can send this card with 2 or more counters to the graveyard to special summon one Earth monster from your deck. Any Earth monster. There is no restriction on level here. If this card will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can remove one counter from this card instead. So first off, it has resiliency in the fact that if it gains counters and then would die by battle or card effect, you can remove a counter instead to keep it around. But the most important effect is sending this card with 2 or more counters to the grave to special summon any Earth from the deck. Just to name a few here, Freed the Matchless General, any of the Buster Bladers we currently have. Make something like Black Tyranno that was otherwise like just too hard to summon because it was 2 tributes, a free summon. To name one of the many Amazonists, you could drop Queen off of this card. Elemental Hero Blade Edge and or Evil Hero Malicious Edge. I mean, I don't know, that sounds kind of wild to me. I think this card would be great in this game, and it would be one of those cards that, like, you know, never saw actual play in normal Yu-Gi-Oh! But could definitely contend as a relevant option in Speed Duels. I love cards that come to Speed Duels that are otherwise irrelevant. Parasite Paranoid is one that comes to mind, but we don't talk about that format. But, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you thought about these 5 cards, where you think I stand. I understand this is more like 8 cards because I want 3 of the attribute recruiters that are still left in the game, but it's more or less the 5 here. Do you like, love, or hate my choices? Do you like what I've been doing on YouTube lately? If so, maybe consider supporting me on Patreon. The link to that is in the description. But with that, as always, I appreciate the continued love and support, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
For more amazing Speed Duel content, subscribe to Yu-Gi Bros. It's time to duel!